First off, major congratulations to Carmelo Anthony for officially being elected into the Basketball Hall of Fame. One of the smoothest scorers this game has ever seen, a phone booth scorer I should add, an all-star, a gold medal legend, NCAA champion, and a walking bucket since day one. And it honestly feels like he was just in the league, like what, 2-3 seasons ago? And man, he was one player I really wish could have gotten a ring. I thought my Lakers was going to get him that chip. I mean, come on, it was right there. Look at this team. We had the Justice League. That team was complete dog shit. But let's be for real. For a long time, Melo didn't get the love he deserved. They called him a ball hog, say he couldn't win, and even pushed him out the league for a couple of seasons like he was some washed up vet. But now, the game is finally giving him his flowers, and that's what inspired this video. Because Melo's not the only one. There's a whole list of players who gave everything to the game, put up numbers, made history, and still got disrespected. Not forgotten. Every name on this list is memorable, but too often they didn't get the respect they earned. So what up, y'all? It's Armand, or you could call me Armani like the brand, and we're back with some basketball content. And in this video, we're talking about NBA players who were straight up disrespected. So pull up a chair, grab some snacks, your beverage of choice, and enjoy. Like the video, and if you're new here, I also do wrestling content. So if you into both, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you. Now let's get into it. Tracy McGrady. When you think about unguardable players, Tracy McGrady's name has to come up. One of the coldest scorers this league has ever seen, and we're talking about a guy who dropped 13 points in 33 seconds. He could take over a game at will, and he finished his career with 2 scoring titles. Let's not forget, in 03, he was averaging 32 points per game, carrying a team that didn't have the same star power around him. Injuries hit him early, and he never got the support he needed in Orlando or in Houston. I mean, he had Yao, but he was also very injury prone as well. But in his prime, T-Mac went toe-to-toe with Kobe, and in many minds, people felt he was the better player. Still, even with all the talent and highlights, T-Mac didn't get the recognition he deserved. His lack of ring and playoff struggles with weaker teams overshadowed his dominance. Injuries and bad situations kept him out of the conversation among all-time greats. But when he was healthy, T-Mac was as lethal as anyone. Chris Bosh is often remembered as the third wheel of Miami's Big Three. Those dinosaur memes and that weird championship celebration, but the narrative doesn't do him justice. Before joining the Heat, Bosh was an all-NBA caliber player in Toronto, averaging 20 and 10. A versatile big man, he was a mid-range assassin with a smooth jumper that pulled bigs out the paint. And his face-up game was elite. Quick first step, could blow by slower defenders, and don't let the finesse fool you. Bosh had an underrated strength, able to bang down low and finish through contact. When he joined Miami, Bosh sacrificed his individual stats to fit into a complementary role. He became a crucial part of their defense, guarding multiple positions, spacing the floor, and rebounding at a high level, all vital to their championship runs. His biggest moment might have come in the 2013 finals when he grabbed a crucial rebound in the closing seconds of Game 6, leading to Ray Allen's iconic three-pointer that saved their season. Man, I was hoping Ray Allen stepped out of bounds on that shit. Still, Bosh is often overshadowed by LeBron and Wade. I mean, respectfully. But without him, those titles don't happen. He wasn't just a third option, he was essential. Pau Gasol. As a Laker fan, it's tough to admit, but Pau Gasol doesn't get nearly enough credit for being one of the most skilled big men of his era. Within the Lakers fan base, we know what he brought to the table. But outside of that circle, when it comes to the team's championships in 09 and 10, it's almost always Kobe's name that comes up, and rightfully so. But let's not forget, Pau was just as crucial to those titles. Gasol was the perfect complement to Kobe's scoring. With his elite post moves, high basketball IQ, and ability to space the floor, he averaged a double-double during the Lakers title runs, contributing key rebounds, assists, and clutch points in the most critical moments. His versatility made him a constant mismatch for opponents. After a rough showing in the 08 finals where he got labeled soft, KG did punk him. Pau Gasol came back with a vengeance. He stepped up with big-time plays like that clutch putback layup in Game 6 of the first round, helping the Lakers survive a young and hungry OKC squad. But the real redemption, Game 7 of the 2010 finals against the Boston Celtics. Pau delivered 19 points, 18 rebounds, and pure heart. He battled in the paint, took hits, kept grinding, and helped the Lakers snatch that title right out of Boston's hands. Soft? Nah. That man was the backbone of a championship team. Put some respect on Pau's name. Before joining the Lakers, Pau was already an all-star in Memphis. But in LA, He became the glue that held the offense together and a dominant force in the paint, especially during that legendary 2010 finals against the Celtics. Yet, despite all of this, Powell is still often seen as just Kobe's sidekick. His critical contributions are too often overshadowed, and the disrespect he faces is unreal. Make no mistake, without Pau Gasol, those championships don't happen, and it's time people start giving him his due respect as one of the most skilled big men of his era. Tony Parker, omelette do for a march. If you caught the reference, you know ball. But when you think of the Spurs dynasty, most people automatically think of Tim Duncan. And rightfully so, but Tony Parker's contribution often get overshadowed, and that's a damn shame. Parker was the engine that made the Spurs offense run for nearly 2 decades. A 4-time NBA champion and a Finals MVP in 2007. He was the perfect point guard for San Antonio's system. Sidebar, he was actually my pick to win the Finals MVP in 2013 had the Spurs won, but looking back at his stats, I guess I was just in awe when he hit that big shot over LeBron. But anyway, moving on. One of the most underrated parts of Parker's game was his floater. That shot was impossible to block. He'd get into the paint, use his quickness to blow by defenders, and then just drop that floater over everyone. That move was a killer and made him nearly unguardable in the paint, even against bigger defenders. And as a Laker fan, I hated watching him run around like a rat, just constantly finding ways to attack the basket, slipping through screens, and setting up easy buckets. His ability to break down defenses with lightning quick first step and finish at the rim with creativity was unmatched. And don't forget, he was one of the best mid-range shooters in the league. His chemistry with Duncan, Ginobili, and the Spurs system made him a key cog in one of the most consistent dynasties in NBA history. Despite all that, Parker's legacy is often downplayed, and it's easy to forget that he was the driving force behind the Spurs offense during that 07 championship run, averaging 24 points and 5 assists in the finals, earning him that well-deserved finals MVP. Yet, somehow, he's still not mentioned with the same respect as other point guards from his era, like Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, or Chris Paul. Tony's often left out of the best point guards discussion, but his role in the Spurs' success is undeniable. He was never flashy like some of his peers, but his consistency and ability to rise to the occasion, especially in the postseason, made him one of the most underrated players of his generation. Without Tony Parker, that Spurs dynasty might never have been as successful as it was. Carmelo Anthony! The inspiration for this video, especially for the reasons I mentioned earlier. But speaking of Melo, there's a growing debate about whether the Denver Nuggets should retire his jersey. Honestly, it's becoming hard to ignore, and yes, the Nuggets have the reigning MVP Nikola Jokic, who brought them their first chip back in 2023. And he has built a legendary resume. But let's not forget that Carmelo helped put that franchise on the map. He led Denver to the playoffs year after year, elevating their status during his prime. And now that he's a Hall of Famer, there's no denying his huge role in shaping the Nuggets' identity. Now, I know things didn't end well between them, but the Denver Nuggets has to retire his jersey, right? I mean, I know him and Jokic share the same number, but they gotta figure it out. Come on. Melo may not have a ring, but the idea of him being labeled as a loser or not good enough just doesn't sit right with me. His international success with Team USA and his undeniable performance over the years prove his greatness. He may not have reached the pinnacle, but he was elite for a long time. He should have won the Rookie of the Year award over LeBron, I'm just saying. Now, let's talk about Melo in New York. There's a question I often ask my Knicks fan friends. Who's the best Knick of the last 20 years? Carmelo Anthony or Jalen Brunson? Most say Brunson, and I get it, but some of my homies will give up their seat on a public transportation to Brunson before they give it to an elderly or a pregnant woman.
What did he say?
Yeah, that's not crazy, but don't get me wrong. He's been outstanding, and no doubt, I understand he has better team success than Melo, but I cannot bring myself to say that he's over Melo. I'm talking about 3 to the dome, you feel me? But Melo changed the culture of that franchise when he arrived. He had the Knicks back in playoff contention, put up crazy numbers, and had some of the most iconic moments in Knicks history. Like this moment when he hit them clutch shots over the Bulls. Damn, that shit was electric. But Melo's offensive game was practically unguardable, and he was the face of the franchise when they needed it the most. So despite not winning a ring, Carmelo was undeniably elite for a long time. Looking back on his legacy, it's clear that Melo's contribution to the NBA, his team, and his city can't be understated. He might have been disrespected in some ways, but his impact and undeniable greatness speaks for itself. Dwight Howard. First off, congratulations to Dwight Howard for being elected into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And off rip, Dwight not making the NBA 75 list is straight up disrespectful. On top of that, you got Shaq constantly trying to tear down his legacy. But let's be real. At his peak, Dwight was arguably the best center in the league. From 2008 to 2011, Dwight won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, leading the Orlando Magic back to the finals in 2009. And he went through the reigning champs, the Celtics, and the 66-win Cavalier team led by LeBron to get there. And his second best player on the team was Rashard Lewis. Dwight was putting up 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks in 2009, dominating both ends of the floor. I mean, he's the reason why we didn't get a finals matchup between Kobe and Braun. But here's where the disrespect comes in. Dwight's legacy often gets overshadowed because he couldn't win a ring in Orlando. His time in LA with Kobe didn't work. And he's often unfairly labeled as soft. I mean, yeah, Kobe did. You know what I'm saying? But then he bounced around the league after that. But let's not forget that in 2020, Dwight played a pivotal role in the Lakers championship run, proving he still had it. Dwight's career had his ups and downs, but his dominance in his prime is undeniable. 3-time DPOY, 8-time All-Star, and one of the most physical gifted centers this league has ever seen. The disrespect he gets today doesn't change a damn thing. His greatness will always speak for itself. James Harden is one of the most disrespected superstars of the generation. A former MVP, 10-time All-Star, and one of the most lethal offensive players in NBA history. Harden's greatness is often overshadowed by playoff narratives, and to be fair, it is true. Harden didn't start as a franchise player. He was the 6th man for the Thunder, winning the 6th Man of the Year award in 2012. And after joining the Rockets, he led them back to the playoffs for the first time in 3 seasons. His leap from role player to superstar was one of the most impressive things in NBA history. And let's not forget, he should have won Most Improved Player the following season. Just check the stats. At his peak, Harden was the best offensive weapon in the game. He could score from anywhere, and his step-back 3 became iconic. He's second on the all-time list for made threes, and his playmaking was just as elite, averaging around 7 assists a game. And don't forget, he's never missed the playoffs. What truly sets Harden apart, though, is his influence on the game. The way teams play now, heavy on isolation, three-point shooting, and foul drawing, is a direct result of Harden's style. His offensive revolution changed how the game is played. And y'all call SGA a free throw merchant? Harden is the real free throw merchant. The way he manipulated the game to work in his favor was on another level. Yes, Harden hasn't won a ring, but his 2018 run where he pushed the Warriors to a Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals shows how close he came to the ultimate goal. His legacy as one of the greatest scorers and playmakers in NBA history is undeniable. The disrespect for his playoff record is misplaced. His greatness speaks for itself. And by the way, he's one of only 2 players alongside Bill Walton to win both 6th Man of the Year and MVP. That's a special distinction. Russell Westbrook. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. The man is an absolute dynamo. Mind-boggling how he gets disrespected, right? I mean, he's arguably the player on this list who gets made fun of the most, but that doesn't change the fact that he's one of the most electrifying players to ever play the game. A former MVP, 9-time All-Star, and all-time leader in triple-doubles with 203 at the time of this video, Westbrook's greatness is often overlooked because of his so-called flaws, his inefficiencies, turnovers, and shot selections. But let's put some respect on his name. Westbrook was the first player in NBA history to average a triple-double for an entire season in the modern era in 2017. A feat that hadn't been done in over 40 years. Not only did he do it once, but he's averaged a triple-double in 3 different seasons. Something no one else has ever come close to doing. I mean, Jokic this season. But in 2017, his MVP season, he averaged 31.6 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 1.4 assists, putting up numbers no one thought were possible. His ability to fill up the stat sheet year after year is a testament to his all-around game and relentless work ethic. Let's talk about the time Westbrook recorded a 20-20-20 game against the Lakers back in 2019, where he beat a lot of 20s, where he became the second player in NBA history to do so. While Wilt Chamberlain was the first to achieve this feat back in 1968, Westbrook's performance still showed his ability to impact every part of the game. Wilt Chamberlain, though, is a whole other beast when it comes to insane records. The guy's sitting on a bunch of them. For example, he still holds the record for the most points scored in a single. Hold on. Who wrote this shit? Where's the tape? And his 50.4 points per game during the 61-62 season is something that may never be touched. The man was a walking stat sheet, and his name will forever be synonymous with dominance. Westbrook made half his struggles in the playoffs, and he's never won a ring. but the disrespect he gets for his playing style is misplaced. He redefined the point guard position with his explosive athleticism, relentless energy, and sheer will to win. He made history in a way that no one else has, and his legacy as the all-time leader in triple-doubles is untouchable. When it comes to impact, heart, and passion for the game, Westbrook's greatness speaks for itself. Scottie Pippen, often cast as Michael Jordan's sidekick, yet that narrative does a huge disservice to his true impact. Sure, MJ gets most of the credit for Chicago Bulls' 6 championships, but let's not forget who was right there alongside him, every step of the way. Scottie Pippen wasn't just a supporting piece, he was the backbone of the championship teams and one of the most versatile and elite players to play the game. Pippen complemented Jordan perfectly with his defense, playmaking, and ability to impact every aspect of the game. A 10-time All-Star, 6-time NBA champion, and a defensive force, Pippen was named to the NBA All-Defensive First Team 8 times for a reason. He could guard every position, shut down the opposing team's best player, and contribute on both ends of the court at an elite level. But here's where the disrespect starts. Despite his immense value, the media and even the Last Dance documentary often downplayed Pippen's contributions. MJ might have been the star, but Pippen was the glue holding it all together. His role in those 6 championships is often overlooked, while Jordan's greatness is magnified. The documentary was incredible for telling MJ's story, but it didn't give Pippen the credit he deserved. Yo, that shit was so funny. It glossed over how much he sacrificed, how pivotal he was to the success of the Bulls, and how this all-around game made them nearly unbeatable. Beyond defense, Pippen was an underrated playmaker, one of the best at his position. He ran the offense, set up teammates, and averaged over 5 assists per game for his career. His basketball IQ was off the charts, and he could score, rebound, and pass and defend with the best of them. Yet, despite being a key factor in the Bulls' success, Pippen's legacy is often too overshadowed by MJ's greatness. People forget how essential he was to the team's dynasty, and the fact that he was never considered the best player on the team, well, after Mike left, shouldn't diminish his impact. Pippen was a Hall of Famer in his own right, a top 50 player, a two-way force who elevated the game with his versatility. Without Pippen, those 6 championships don't happen. He might not have won a Finals MVP or been the main guy on the team, but that doesn't mean he wasn't just as important. Pippen's contributions are undeniable, and his legacy deserves a lot more respect than it often gets. Tim Duncan is one of the most disrespected NBA legends, and it's crazy because he's top 10. And it's wild that people don't fully appreciate just how great he was. Often overshadowed by louder, flashier stars, Duncan quietly went about his business, winning 5 championships, 2 MVPs, and 3 final MVPs. The big fundamental was the backbone of one of the most successful dynasties in NBA history, and yet his greatness often gets brushed aside. Who was the biggest threat to Kobe and Shaq reign of dominance?
I'm the Tim Duncan.
Who stopped LeBron from winning 2 rings?
I'm the Tim Duncan.
I mean, it could have been 3, but Kawhi missed that damn free throw in 2013. But you get the point. Duncan was the man who stood in the way of so many great players, and that's why his legacy is so impactful. Duncan was the epitome of consistency, playing for 19 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs and leading them to the playoffs every single year. A feat that gets often overlooked. He's the all-time player in career minutes played for the Spurs, and he could dominate in any area of the game without ever needing to showboat. Whether it was his signature bank shot, his elite defense, or his basketball IQ, Duncan did everything with a quiet confidence that made him a nightmare for opponents. A lot of people forget about his damn near quadruple-double in the 03 finals, where he became just 2 blocks shy of one of the most insane stat lines in NBA history. That performance alone proves how complete of a player Tim Duncan was. And as a Lakers fan, I hated him. I couldn't stand him. But damn, he was just too damn good. Over the years, I've grown older. I've gained a lot more respect for him. His dominance was undeniable, and his influence on the game will forever be cemented. 5 championships, countless All-NBA and All-Defensive selections, and an ability to adjust his game over time to stay effective as he got older. Tim Duncan is the definition of greatness, and his legacy will forever speak for itself. And that's all, y'all. Thank you for spending some time with me, and if you made it to the end of this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see a part 2, drop some players down in the comments that you feel were disrespected. There were other players that did not make this video, so I'm interested to see what you guys have. I also do wrestling content on this channel, like I said earlier, so if you're into wrestling, check that out too. And oh, I'll run a podcast with my homies. I'll put the link in the bio or on the screen or something. And until then, y'all be good.
What can I say? Mamba out.